This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where leaders, seasoned entrepreneurs, and business owners share their wisdom. It's straight to the point to respect people's time, and because we know knowledge and wisdom turn to business possibility, and possibility mixed with support and action become reality. In this podcast, we discuss leadership, sales, marketing, operations, team development, quality, and finance to drive sustainable results and everlasting impact to make the world a better place. Thanks for joining us. So enough of that intro stuff. Let's get down to it. We have a special guest today. Anthony, in a few sentences, share with me, who are you and what do you do?
Hey, thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me. Anthony Hudson. I am a coach. I'm a performance coach, and I'm also a franchise advisor. So who am I first? I'm a dad, husband of going on 16 years, dad of 3 beautiful daughters as well. Grew up a small town farm kid. Now I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and that got me to becoming a performance coach and a franchise advisor, right? So I do a couple different things, but that's the short and quick version of it.
Love it. Love how you dropped into dad of three girls. That's
twin daughters, actually. I didn't even say that. 11, 6, and 6. So yeah, I'm outnumbered, sir. Outnumbered tremendously with my wife and 3 daughters, but it's good.
I love that. I love that. You are definitely outnumbered. You have your work cut out for you, and I'm sure it's a beautiful thing.
Sure is.
And also the Nebraska thing. Nebraska is a beautiful state. So for anybody listening or watching, you're like, Nebraska is really, the first time I was there, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful state. So
it is. So I appreciate that. Some people call it a flyover state. It's a little flat, and most people think it's just a bunch of cornfields and pastures. But there's some hidden gems for sure. I wouldn't have it any other way. Born, raised, and haven't left ever since. So
nice. That's amazing. Awesome. I love it. Question number 2. What's the best thing about being in business?
Oh, I think it's being able to impact others and being able to help others live life on their own terms, right? That's really my goal in both the businesses that I'm a part of, both as a performance coach and as a franchise advisor, allowing others the opportunity and educating them on things that they didn't know were possible, right? So I think it's helping others achieve their goals.
I love that. Great answer. Helping and serving people. That's what it's all about. Straight to the point. You cut right to the chase, don't you, Anthony?
That's right. That's right.
I love that. Let's dive in. If you're willing, let's dive in just a little bit deeper, because I know in the world today, if you're speaking, if you're listening, you're watching on video, and you're thinking, oh, another coach.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coaches out there in the world today, but I'd love to dive in. What are some of the results? Because when you're talking about performance, that is deep stuff. That's life transformational stuff. And there's still a lot of people, even with all the coaches out there, there's still a lot of people in the world today that have not seen some of those transformations. They've never experienced it. They don't know what that is. So what kind of results are you delivering for your clients right now, Anthony?
Yeah. So the name of my coaching program is actually behind me. It's called Confident, the code to living a life on fire. Right. So I'll back up a little bit and give you a little background if that's okay. I was a fitness coach. I grew up playing sports, played football in college. So fitness, working out in the gym, strength training, those were all things that came easy for me. And I was naturally drawn to, got into the fitness space, owned a couple gyms in the franchising space over the last 15 years. And ultimately, I thought fitness coaching was ultimately where I belonged, right? And where I could help the most people. And then 2020 hit and COVID and the pandemic and all these things happened. And I started to realize, yeah, people, fitness is important. And so is mindset, right? People couldn't get out of their own way. They didn't realize when the world got flipped upside down on them and people couldn't leave to go to the gym or to go out to eat, or, they basically were stuck at home for, depending on the person, a long time. The routines got thrown out of whack. They didn't know that they were going to have to start, teaching their kids and being tutors and homeschool and all these other things, and not being able to go to work and have the routines just absolutely got thrown out the window, right? So I realized at that point in time that I was a pretty well regimented and pretty routine person. And that, more than anything, is going to be somebody's staple. That's your fallback mechanism when things get thrown out the window and times get difficult and the world flips upside down on you, right? So ultimately, that turned in the routine piece is really where healthy habits come from, are made from routines, right? So having healthy habits, having a structure, living life by design, not by default. That's really where my coaching program kind of started, because the pandemic, while it was challenging, it didn't affect me. A lot of people you saw put on unhealthy weight and get really depressed and just have a lot of struggles, right? So that's kind of where confident was born, and confidence to me is our own superpower, right? So when somebody's confident, they can tackle anything, right? So confidence comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself, and that comes from building healthy habits, having a rock solid routine, as I like to call it, to where no matter what happens, you can fall back on those habits. And what that does is that gives you more decision making power, more bandwidth, more a stronger mindset, so that when life swings a punch at you, you can bob and weave and punch right back, and it's not as big of a deal, right? So that's where I help a lot of business owners, get more quality time with their family, because it seems like I focus on 5 areas. It's faith, family, fitness, finances, and fun, the last one. And to that point, there's not many coaches out there coaching in the fun category at all whatsoever. So those 5 areas is something that there's no perfect balance in any 5, but that doesn't mean we still shouldn't hit on all 5 of those categories, right? So I'd love to elaborate more, but I'll take a quick pause there because I think that's, so I help people get results in those 5 key areas, because a lot of times we're good in 1, maybe even 2 areas, but that doesn't mean we're happy. That doesn't mean our loved ones are happy. We may not be spending quality time with our kids and our wife. We're only focused on work because we think we need to make money, and that's the only thing we worry about, right? So speaking of business, right? So I help CEOs, business owners, entrepreneurs get balance in their fitness, get balance in their home life again, build those relationships back up if they've kind of gone by the wayside, and then have a lot of fun while they're doing it, right? And have a good, strong mindset around it. So
love this conversation. I love it. It's a great thing. A lot of what you said is, I understand what you're saying totally, and it's real. I mean, this is real stuff, especially when COVID hit. But it's always been there. Just people got they got hit a little harder. They had to change their habits. It all comes down to habits. I love that you brought that up and that you spoke into that, because that's what it's all about. Performance is directly proportionally tied to habits. And a lot of people have never had any training in that. I mean, just frankly, we weren't taught it in school. We weren't taught it anywhere unless you had some training from somewhere. You've never been trained. And so it's just a simple matter of, how do I get in front of someone like you, who's an expert and can actually show me the way, right?
That's right.
Leading the way. I love it. I love it, Anthony. It's a great conversation. So thank you for diving a little bit deeper and just speaking into that a little bit. There's still, it does shock and surprise me, those of us in the business, just the amount of people that just they hear the term, but they've never experienced, so they don't know what it is. So now your description got to tie them into being able to understand what that is. Thank you so much.
Right.
We're going to move into, and we'll dive in a little bit more here in just a moment. We're going to move to question number 3. Question number 3 is my favorite question. Love this question. We hear from it's so fun. You like fun. So
I do. It's one of the categories. It's one of the pillars.
We hear from other business owners, they're getting so much business that the chaos, and it's true. Yeah. Pure abundance. That they're getting so much business that sometimes when that happens, the chaos that comes with that causes some overwhelm, some feelings of overwhelm. Would you be willing to share your thoughts, Anthony, on that topic?
So chaos that comes from having too much business. Yeah. So, it goes back to, again, the habits, right? And knowing that at the end of the day, having the abundant mindset means that you are capable of doing more, and that people need what you provide, right? So when overwhelm comes from having too much, I don't want to say too much business, that's when what happens is, what I teach people to do is they've got to learn to delegate, right? So a lot of us feel like, we are, if we want something done right, we have to do it ourselves. Okay. So, but by empowering others to do the things that, one, maybe you're not the best at, right? That you could hire somebody else to do it that's better than you. Two, maybe somebody that or something that you don't love doing, right? So why would you continue to do something if you actually, it's not one of your favorite things to do in your business, right? And there's going to be a point early on where you probably need to do all these things, but as you grow and become more abundant, right, the way to grow and get through that ceiling, break through that, is to empower other people to do the things that you aren't as good at, maybe don't enjoy doing as much, or know that it's not something that serves you as much anymore, that you're the so have someone, if you're the visionary, have somebody that's the implementer, right? So that's the key, is having a strong team of people around you that buy into the purpose and the passion that you have in your business, right? So I think that's the key. So many people get stuck in a certain place because they're not willing to put trust in other people, and you have to trust a little bit before you can fully allow. You have to give a little bit of trust, even if you don't know if they're going to totally work out sometimes, and not everybody's willing to do that, so that holds them back a lot of times, I think. So it's the empowering thing and building a strong team around the core values, right? I know you've talked to some of my other friends that talk a lot about core values, Chris, Thomas, some of those as well. So that's huge. That's super important.
Love it. Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Strengths, get zeroed in on what you enjoy, what your strengths are, trust, delegation, empowerment, all power stuff, and some other nuggets in there too. So thanks for sharing, Anthony.
Sure.
I love to just hear the different perspectives. Everyone has a different perspective, but it's really powerful stuff. It's difficult to scale. You also spoke into, trying to do everything on your own. So yes, it's necessary at first. That's how we find out what we like and what we don't. But at some point, if you want to scale, you got to get out of that and start to delegate. So great stuff. Thank you very much for sharing your experience.
You bet.
Question number 4. What other successful business owners, like yourself, of course, Anthony, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
Yeah, I've got a great one for you. So a guy by the name of 𝐘𝐨𝐮𝐬𝐢𝐳, who is CEO of 𝐓𝐵 Accounting. He's actually a client of mine in my Confident Coaching program. Highly successful business owner, also a part of a couple other masterminds I'm in as well. So I think he would be first and foremost, and I'm actually having a conversation with him later this afternoon. So we'll make that connection for you.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing, Anthony.
And there's more than that, but that was the first name that popped up, of course. So.
I'm sure the list is long.
It is.
If you were to spit like 100, I'd be like, well, wait.
I've got, maybe not, maybe 5 at a time, huh?
That's great stuff. I love it. Question number 5. Anthony, what piece of wisdom would you share with other business owners?
Absolutely, Brad. So I'm going to go back to my franchise advisor and put on my franchise advisor hat. And I've been in business in franchising now for about 16 years, and that was really how I got my entrepreneurial journey started. So what I would tell current business owners is, hey, I know you're all in on your business, but sometimes diversification can be a great way to add additional wealth, to help more people, get more people on your staff, help more families, those kind of things. So what a lot of people don't understand or realize is, especially those who already have successful businesses that might be a little bit on autopilot. I work with a lot of people that are more investor types or serial entrepreneurs. You can invest in franchise concepts as what we call semi-absentee owners, where maybe you work on the business 5 to 10 hours a week, manage a manager, really work on the business, not in the business. And, if you've already invested in real estate, if you're already in the stock market, heck, if you're already doing crypto and NFTs, right? That seems to be the popular thing right now. People don't realize franchising is a great way to diversify your portfolio and to build additional strong revenue streams, to boost the economy, to help other families by hiring more people. There's just so many advantages to it. So I've got, what I do is help other investors and business owners look at some options, right? To help set up legacies for their kids and build additional wealth and have those additional revenue streams as well. That's why I love franchising so much. It's a business that you follow a system and a process and you get support from a franchisor And not everybody realizes that. They just think it's, oh, I pay a royalty and I'm not really getting anything in return. That's not the case at all. In fact, you get a lot more than most people realize in most of the franchise concepts that I work with, at least. So that would be a recommendation I would make to current business owners. Like, yes, absolutely, make sure your business is growing and scaling. But if you're ready to maybe make a shift or look at something else, what I do is I offer people some options as a franchise advisor as well. So works really well.
Love that, and I love that you're niche there. It's not the only thing you do, but it's a great revenue stream.
That's right.
What I'd like to dive into, so there's
Sure.
a lot of people, and maybe you're watching or maybe you're listening, but you don't understand how a franchise works. So I know that'd be a whole very long conversation, but the one thing, Anthony, that always shocks me
Sure.
about franchises is this notion that everything is systematized, right? So with a franchise business, you're basically grabbing a turnkey system, right? Turn the
That's
key
correct.
and it works. It's already proven. They've got the systems, they've got all the SOPs, everything. So can you speak into that a little bit?
Yeah, I like to say it's a business in a box, right? So you do invest, you're investing a little bit on the front end. You pay what you call a franchise fee, and then you pay royalties ongoing. That's cost of doing business, right? But what you get is support from a franchisor, right? So headquarters, right? So you get all their staff at headquarters. You also get the proven process, the model that's already proven. And even before you ever invest in a franchise concept, I take you through a discovery and due diligence process. So you know when it comes time to meet the team and become approved as a business owner, because it is an approval. This is a 10-year term. Typically, it's a partnership. And that's why you have to look at it. But once you get to that point, you already know that you want to move forward, right? Even before you're going to meet the team and go to what we call a confirmation day. So the point is it's systematized. To your point, it's already a proven concept and model, but not everybody wants to start from scratch. Not everybody wants to accumulate the scars, bumps, and bruises that you get when you start your own business, when you become an entrepreneur for the first time or have a startup company. That's the benefit franchising provides. It provides life on your own terms. It provides the things that really, it's a fast track is really what it is. And then the best part to me that I love is the friends you make inside the franchise system, right? So there's other peers, other people all throughout the United States doing the exact same thing in the exact same trenches that you're in the franchise system, that you can speak to the challenges, the wins. What are you doing here? How did you do this? You have a group of peers, tens of hundreds, a lot of times, that you can rely on, that reach out to, and they become some of your best friends. I've gotten into other franchise concepts and other businesses with people that I were peers of mine in another franchise concept before, right? So it's just another great network that continues to pay itself back and great relationship building as well. So.
I love that. So not is it all, proven, turnkey, pretty much in a box, as you said, but it's also right. What I love is you also spoke into the community aspect of it.
Correct.
So you walk in to a community already and can have those relationships pretty readily, right? Because you're focused around a very specific thing. So everybody wants to work as a team.
And on top of that, so badass business owners, the thing is, we vet out the candidates ahead of time. It's not just about people getting into that franchise. It's a partnership, but it's not just about anybody with the right amount of zeros that they can invest in the franchise concept. They have to go through a qualification process as well. They have to have strong business acumen, history of success. They have to be confident in their abilities to own a business as well. And that's part of this entire process. That's part of what I coach people on in the franchising sector. But that's also the community is so strong because of that, because they're not just letting in anybody that wants to buy a business, and just kind of hang out, right? They want people that are in it to win it and be a part of the community and provide value inside that community as well. So that's one of the best hidden benefits of being in a franchise, in my opinion.
I love it. These are some really cool aspects. And so I'm glad we're having this conversation. So not only are they action takers, we know that, right? So they likely either have a business already that's running, or they at least they've got the finances to be able to do it. They've done something that's been fairly successful throughout their lives. So right. It sounds like then you coach them on how they like throughout the process in order to lead them up then to the franchise, right?
Yeah, so I coach them on how to put their best foot forward to make sure that once we find the concept that they like, it's a process of elimination, right? So there are 4,000 franchise concepts in the US. I work with about 20, the best of the best franchise concepts in different sectors. And then from there, we eliminate the 20 down to about 3 to start. And then we slowly but surely pull away from and land on the one that makes the most sense, that's going to allow them to achieve their goals, that they can be passionate about, that they feel like is truly where they're meant to be, right? So that's how the whole process works.
I love it. This is great. This is a great conversation. So instead of building your own team, instead of all the pitfalls and the failings that come with starting your business from scratch, and we all know there's stats all about that. So aside from having to walk through that, then you walk into something that's already established.
Yeah.
I love it. This is great.
Correct.
This is great, Anthony. So, because a lot of times what I do is I ask people about, the struggles around teamwork and how do you build a team and that kind of stuff. So I like just your thoughts, since you have a different perspective and a different aspect here. You be able to speak into just a little bit on some wisdom. So we're talking wisdom with business owners here. Wisdom on some things that you've learned about building the team. You've talked about delegation already. One of the most challenging things for people, and this is not just for startup people, this is people in established businesses as well, I'm sure you'll recognize, is building a team. It can be really challenging. Do you have any thoughts or wisdom or advice that you'd share?
Yeah. So I learned this the hard way. Really probably as early as 5 years ago, pretty lately, hiring people, hired them selfishly for myself and not for truly for them, for their purposes, right? So it goes back to core values, right? It goes back to whatever you have core values set up for yourself personally, which should also probably translate over into your business for the most part, really, really similarly. Right. So I remember one specific hire where we hired specifically for a set hours, not a good quality person, but they were the only ones that were available to be at our gym location at that select time. And not a good employee, they weren't quality, but we needed to fill a spot. And they were the only ones willing to do so, but it ended up not working out, of course. And that was for selfish reasons on my part, right? So we kind of took the very first because I was working 2 jobs, couldn't get up in the morning and do my job and run the business. So we just kind of filled a spot, and it wasn't fair to that employee, and it wasn't fair to our clients either, right? But it gave me a little bit of reprieve, but ultimately it didn't work out, right? So you can't hire selfishly. You have to hire for the greater good, I would say, which is huge. And then sticking to your core values. If people don't align with your core values, you're going to know that they're probably not going to end up working out, right? So it all goes back to that foundation of the core values piece when it comes to hiring and staffing. And then, once you hire somebody, it's getting them to the place that they want to be, right? So you can't selfishly drive them in the place where you want them to go. Maybe you hired them for one spot and actually they're better suited to be in a different role altogether, right? And it's the communication piece that's so huge that determines that, right? So just some things there that I've learned the hard way over the years, and I'm not perfect by any stretch, and I still mess that up a lot of times, but I can, I have a better understanding of it now, at least.
I love it. Thank you for sharing really authentically. I know that word is thrown around, but someone like yourself models it on a call like this. I love it. And so I want to celebrate you for that. Thank you very much. Look,
thanks,
hey,
man.
I struggled through this, and I don't want you to have to do that too. And that's what this is about. And that's why we're here on the podcast today. Right. So thank you for modeling that, Anthony. I appreciate it. That's tough stuff, man. Building a team, you get in tight spots, and when pressure's on, sometimes we got to make a decision, but using your values within those decisions is really important. So thank you very much for sharing. It's a responsibility, right? It really is a responsibility. 100%. So thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I know, look, we could go on and on and on. We could
this is fun.
I know we could. But we do have not limited time in life, but we got limited time on the podcast.
There you
So
go.
let's switch gears for a minute. I'd love to
Cool.
know, and especially because fun is one of your values,
Yeah.
right? I'd love to know, what's the most fun vacation you ever had?
Yeah, so fun is one of our core values, and I'm a big kid at heart, right? So I truly am. I still like fun has to be a staple in every single day. So speaking of fun, like and being a big kid, I still like all the Disney characters and the cartoons, and love taking my girls to do those kind of things. So our most fun recent vacation was Disney World in Orlando recently, back in October, where we got to take our youngest daughters, who are 6 twin daughters, to Disney for the first time, and we spent about 5 days there, and just to see their eyes light up and how excited they were and how exhausted they are at the end of the day, knowing it was a good day. Like that, there's just so many great memories. Not enough pictures could do it all justice. Videos. I mean, those memories will last for a lifetime, if not longer, right? And that's the best part about fun, right? We're not focused so much. I'd love that you ask that question, because a lot of people, that's what we do for the holidays as well. We don't give gifts like around Christmas and around birthdays, like a physical gift or something like tangible. We want to do the experiences and memories and those kind of things. So I love that you asked the vacation question, because that's what I want, because those are the things you're going to remember that are going to pay dividends for years and years and years to come, and even generations to come as well, right? Hey, family tradition was we go to this spot every year. We go to, Disney, we go to Ireland, we go to wherever it is, we go to Florida in the summer, right? So that those traditions, I'm a huge proponent of family traditions, and I think that's those are some of the best memories, and that's what fun's all about.
Love it. I love it, Anthony. Time with family, fun experiences.
That's right.
Who wouldn't want that? That is literally why we do what we do, isn't it? And the impact, of course, but the impact family and the people to make the world a better place. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing and
Thank
sharing
you.
your family experiences, sharing your business wisdom on the call. I have one other question I'm going to throw in at you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, this is a fun one because you
Okay.
brought up fun. So
Oh
here we
boy.
go.
Okay.
Oh boy. Look, you have a great website. Social media is awesome. I'm fortunate
Thank you.
to be exposed there, connected with you, which is awesome. What's one thing that when somebody goes to your website, they go to your social medias and they see what you're about? What's one thing
Yeah.
they won't find there? What's something about you?
You won't find that I'm okay, so something different about me that they won't see. Gosh, I don't know. That's a tough
The
one.
audience has stumped him.
You did. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty transparent in all my social media, like, from challenges to mistakes to things like that. I was trying to think of anything recently that
What's one thing that you would want everybody to know that they might not readily know from your social media?
that even though my coaching program is confidence, I still have fears and struggle with my confidence every single day, and I think we all do, right? So I'm fully transparent about that. Part of the reason that I help coach others in their confidence is because I need it, and a lot of the messages I speak out on social media and to my audience is because I need to hear it as well, right? A lot of times I'm speaking to myself, but over time, the people that know, like, and trust me, and have learned from me, they need to hear the same message as well, I guess. So that's the brutal, honest, like, rip, look behind the curtains version, I would
Love
say,
it.
and authenticity, to your point. Like, I don't put anything out there. I don't filter images or any of that kind of crazy stuff that we see on Instagram and some of them social medias. Like, you get what you get with me. I guess the last thing I'll say is, and I'm scared to public speak. Like, I do videos and podcasts, and I've done probably hundreds of these things now. I do a lot of videos. That doesn't bother me, but the whole getting on stage public speaking thing is something I'm adamant about getting better at, because I know it's important. And it can impact. But it's something that it's probably one of my biggest fears as well. So, which is why I need to
Definitely a
do it.
skill. I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you so much for playing along.
Yeah.
Stumped you
No,
for
it's
a
good.
second, but
You
this is
did.
really important. So, and I absolutely love what you spoke into. So look, I speak about confidence. My program's called Confident, but you know what? I'm a human being too. And so we all deal with that. And the humility that you shared in that, and the authenticity you shared today is really, it really creates impact. And so if you're listening and watching, I hope you saw that for what it is. That is a true leader, someone that models some vulnerability as well. It's not those people standing on some podium screaming off the, you get what I'm saying. I don't need to go any farther. So Anthony, thank you for being exactly who you are. Appreciate that. What's the website or social media that you would want somebody when they watch and listen and they want to connect with you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So the main one to connect with me is Create Your Confident, not confidence, but confident.com. So it's createyourconfident.com. That's got coaching. That's got a lot more about me, what we do in the coaching program. It's also got my apparel line, podcast, blogs coming soon. So that's going to be the main hub for a majority of my content. And then it's also got ways to access me: Facebook, Instagram, all the social media platforms, LinkedIn as well.
Got it. Say it one more time.
Createyourconfident.com.
Love it. This has been excellent. I appreciate you. I celebrate you for coming here for nothing other than to serve people. I celebrate you for that. Anthony, thank you for that. You took a chunk out of your day to do that. So thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Appreciate having me. Yeah, appreciate having me, Brad. Thanks.
This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where leaders, seasoned entrepreneurs, and business owners share their wisdom. If you're looking for more on leadership, sales, marketing, or operations to drive team development, higher quality, and high-level sustainable profits, we encourage you to join the Built for Brilliance community on Facebook or reach out to us about one of our mastermind groups, coaching or consulting, or even fractional COO services. You can reach us at buildbrilliance.net/contact. We thank you for listening, for sharing the show, and appreciate your rating and reviews, as this makes more shows possible. Thanks for joining us.